and see how it goes. And it does not appear to be doing the background screen. Huh. Interesting. Very, very interesting. Hi, everyone. I'm hearing my own voice as an echo at the moment. We have this beautiful backdrop that we are going to be using tonight for our YouTube Live. What's interesting is I'm looking at the camera and my eyes are going somewhere else. But anyway, we were going to be having this beautiful backdrop for tonight's YouTube Live, and instead it's gone completely cattywampus on us, and our green screen is visible, which is cool because that's actually the topic for tonight's YouTube Live. Not things going wrong, not things blowing up. And in fact, I've got another camera going here. Talk with you about hi everybody, I'm Michael Sandler from Inspire Nation Show. What I want to talk with you about tonight is taking small steps forward towards your mountain. So I could get completely stressed out. Where's my backdrop? Why'd my Facebook Live just blow up? What is going on here? But instead, I know everything is perfect just as it is. We have a completely new setup this evening. We're in our studio. Jessica's by me on a laptop. The microphone setup is a little bit better here. And in many ways, we're taking major baby steps forward. Everybody thinks I have to get it all right now. In fact, it's something we're taught in school. When we're babies, we learn that the only way to learn how to walk is to trip and fall. But somewhere along the way, when we started school, we were taught you have to get good grades. You have to do well on tests. You have to succeed. There is no try. There is only do. Now, I love yoga when yoga. I love Yoda when it comes to try and do, but this is different, meaning we're not allowed to trip and fall and to, quote, fail. But that's where the juice is. And that's how we learn. And that's how we learn best. We don't learn best by being comfortable. We don't learn best by being on the couch. We don't even learn best by getting things right. What's there to remember about getting it right? If you accidentally found your way to a friend's house, will you remember it? No. If instead you made a choice and turned the wrong way and ended up going 20 miles out of your direction, I promise you, you will remember the wrong turn you took and not do it again. So there is absolutely nothing wrong and everything to be gained by trying, by experimenting, by stepping forward, by putting your neck out there and seeing what happens. Tonight, a completely different setup. In fact, a completely different setup. I owe Jessica the biggest kudos in the world. We had guests over here until just an hour ago. There was nothing we could do to set up until only an hour ago. And we did the best we could. There was no way to know of this in advance. And it is perfect in its imperfection, just as it is. So what does this mean to you? What it means is there's no reason not to step forward towards your dreams now, today. I like to say we grossly overestimate what we can do in the moment, what we can do today, and radically underestimate what we can do over time. Time is on your side. Let me repeat that. Time is on your side. Everybody who says, well, if you don't do it now, there's no chance of doing it tomorrow. Rocky, there is no tomorrow. With athletes that I used to train, they'd think, I have to do it all now. I have to get all the training in today, because if not, I'm not going to do well tomorrow. Hogwash. You can climb your mountains over time. Time is on your side. All you need to do is take tiny, fractional, baby steps forward each and every day, incrementally, with purpose, with religion behind it. Do it as if it was your last dying breath, that you take a step forward today, and then you take a step forward tomorrow, and then you take a step forward the next, and you will climb your mountain. It was something I was thinking about with a newsletter earlier today. I was like, I don't even want to call it a mountain. You will climb your mountain and find it wasn't even a mountain, and you will go far, far beyond it by taking small incremental steps daily. On top of that, you get strong. A few weeks ago, we moved, something we've talked about in the last few YouTube lives. I had a choice. Do I want to hire movers to load the moving truck and to unload it, or do I want to do it myself? Well, it's easier to hire movers. It's probably faster to hire movers. It's a little bit of an out-of-pocket expense, but not unheard of. But relatively at the last minute, I decided, no, I want to do this myself. Why do I want to lift all these boxes myself? Well, first off, on the way out here from Emerald Isle, I got to hang with a great friend of mine, Adam Marion, and we got to move boxes together. That was cool. But secondly, I know it's going to make me stronger. And so I moved the boxes onto the truck with Adam's help and with Tom and his friends' help the next day. And then we got here and I unloaded all of the boxes virtually myself. I only got help from Jessica on a love seat and a folding bed couch. This isn't a complaint. This is a badge of pride. Not as in, oh, I was a hero or something, but I got stronger for it. And then I moved around the garage and I got stronger. And I moved around the garage again and I got stronger still. These challenges, in quotes, these really opportunities, these mountains that you see before you, if you take steps daily, will make you so incredibly strong. I was driving the truck across the country one day. I think it was in Kansas. I'd been driving for, 8, 10, 12 hours. We're seeing some really ominous clouds on the horizon. And I'm thinking to myself, I'm being smart, I'm watching the clouds, but I'm thinking to myself, with all I've done with the Daily Show, day in and day out, I've strengthened the muscles so much that no matter what, we will find a way. You can do the same thing if you take tiny incremental steps forward towards your dream each and every day. You will grow your courage, your strength, your capacity, your muscles to succeed so strong that no matter what comes your way, you will find a way to succeed. Does it mean you won't trip and fall? No, absolutely. I promise you, you will trip and fall. That's how you learn. Steve Jobs got kicked out of Apple. And boy, did he come back. Your greatest, quote, weaknesses, your greatest, quote, failures are truly your greatest success. The only thing you have to fear is not fear itself. It's stagnation. It's not stepping forward into who you are, into who you will become, into your dreams. Does this mean don't go slowly? No. I'm a huge believer in the tortoise over the hare. I'm a huge believer in taking your time and going slow. Slow is the new fast. Gentle is the new strong. Take your time, but chip away each and every day towards your dreams. And then, yes, go into a place of being. Go into a place of centeredness. Go into a place of silence and listen and be. And then step forward each and every day with everything that you got. I know this YouTube Live will improve. I know we'll have this Facebook Live dialed over time. I know our internet connection is growing stronger. And I feel so much more comfortable, more expansive in this setup now. And I know it's only going to get better from here. So I'm going to open it up to questions now. With that said, a few little housekeeping notes, and Jessica's working on the Facebook Live, and I'm so happy that she's doing it. And I had thought of myself, should I put the screen back on here, Jessica? I had thought of myself turning it to this horizontal mode. I will get it back open for you. Feel free to do whatever you would like to do to get that going. A little housekeeping notes. First off, come support us. Your support means the world to us, and it's what keeps the show going and going strong. So come on over to Patreon, patreon.com/Inspire Nation. Become a part of the Inspire Nation family. Become a Backstage Pass member. You'll get tools, tips, helpful information, free downloads, free music, free prizes, free books, and much, much more, along with our daily wow, our daily words of wisdom. On top of that, we'll be releasing our magical morning routine for busy spiritual seekers program in just a few short weeks. Stay tuned for that. And we have our automatic writing program, which you can find at inspirenationuniversity.com. And you'll see the links to all of our different programs there. With that said, I'm going to open up the questions. First, I'm going to ask a question to the person who never likes me to ask questions of her, but I'm going to check in with her first. Jessica, you've probably been busy working on the technology side of things, but can you think of anything that I'm supposed to mention first before we dive into questions? No. Therefore, let's dive into questions. So start me out, Jessica, and I believe I can even move the mic a little bit closer your direction. This is a cool little setup we have here. And do we have a first question or anybody I should or get to say hi to this evening?
I have a question.
Go for it.
What are some of the dreams that you're stepping towards?
Ooh, she put me on the spot. What are the dreams that I'm stepping towards? Well, we're in 193 countries. We have hundreds of thousands of listeners. I want to get into the millions. I want to see how many millions we can get. Actually, I have a goal of 2.5 million viewers this year. It's an outrageous goal. Who knows if it's possible? But I will put that out there. That's an immediate goal, to be able to work with world leaders, indigenous leaders, and spiritual minds who are out there. Not out there as in floating up above, although that might be kind of cool, but are hard to find, let's put it a different way, who are easy to find and have amazing words of wisdom to share that I'm going to be able to go with you. We're both going to be able to go and to learn from. So that's a huge goal. Another goal is to start a family. Woohoo! Another goal is to buy a place out here with an amazing piece of land, quite possibly this property. Another goal would be to see my health, which is just taken off in Colorado, to see it go to a completely different level. I want to be racing again. I want to be flying in the hills. I want to see what this body can do, what this new and improved body can do, titanium parts and all. On top of that, I want to get back into the creative process. I want to have books coming out, more and more books, more and more programs. And then I want, on top of even greater financial wealth, give me a large enough lever and I will move the world. I want greater spiritual wealth, a deeper connection, and greater time wealth so we can explore, we can play, we can spend time with the baby when the baby comes and when the baby after that comes. And I want to build a life, truly engineer a life where each morning I wake up and I go, how does it get any better than this? How does it get any better than this? And I know that I am taking steps forward towards that each and every day. We're working on the programs. We're working on YouTube. We're working on the family. We're working on the home. We're working on the spiritual side of things. And I am trying with everything that I have to move past the wiring that says do, busy, 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 and to get more into a place of stillness, of beingness, and taking more time with you. So those are a few of them right there.
Thanks.
Certainly.
All right. We have a question from Teresa.
All right. Hi, Teresa.
She asks, Michael, does law of attraction interfere with a belief system? I sometimes feel I'm betraying God by using it.
Oh, what a beautiful question, Teresa. Does law of attraction interfere with a belief system? No, I feel it is one and the same. God is abundance. God is love. God is infinite wealth. There is absolutely nothing wrong with using the law of attraction, I'll put using in quotes, to attract goodness into your life. Now, with that said, this is a world where we get to share that goodness with others. We get to raise our vibration up with a goal to serve. That doesn't mean we have to be poor. It doesn't mean we have to be a pauper. And we certainly don't want to be like one of those spiritual, I don't even know what you people call them, somebody on the pulpit who says that we must be meek like sheep, and then they go and drive their Caddy or Mercedes. Nothing could be further from the truth. But this is a world of incredible abundance. We don't have a shortage of food problem in this world. It's the most incredible thing. We have an allocation problem, I'll put it in quotes, or challenge. When we raise our vibration up to the max in whatever way, shape, or form, we are radiating goodness, we are radiating light, we are radiating the God within, God that's inside of each and every one of us. If you're Christian, and I will do a butchering job, so please forgive me, but Jesus said, all that I have, the kingdom of God is within, and all that I have and more can be yours. There is absolutely nothing wrong with asking. Now, for myself, and I have lots of wants, lots of desires. My biggest desire is to help shift the world, and I am super hungry and on fire to do that. But I always, with law of attraction, say, and I put out there, for my highest good and the highest good of all, or something better. That means I don't pretend to have all the answers. It means I can ask for a Porsche or a Tesla or a bicycle, whatever it is. And if that's what universe wants to provide, great. If it's something else that universe provides, great. If instead universe wants me to walk or run everywhere, or to walk across the entire country because that's my way of reaching others, I'll probably need to wrap my mind around it. Then again, I did it a few years ago on the bicycle for that purpose. So great. I am open. I am open. I am open. It's a two-step dance. You put it out there. You don't be bashful. You don't be ashamed. Forget the wiring of what you've been taught, which is a whole nother lesson that we get to do here, is how to move past our wiring. Don't have guilt. Don't have shame, and don't have guilt over having guilt and having shame. But ask, and ask big. We are each children of God. If there is a giant plant, that is God. We are each our own flower or our own bud on this plant. We have a right. It is our job. It is our duty. It is why we are here, to blossom and bloom with as much greatness, as much beauty as we possibly can. So thank you, Teresa. What a beautiful, beautiful question. And truly shine bright. I know it's inside of you. Thank you for that question.
Teresa also asks, I'm seeing a lot of 1111 or 333. Does it have a meaning, please?
Oh, yes, it does. Yes, it does. Now, with that said, each of the numbers, repeating numbers, and some call them angel numbers, have different significance to it. I couldn't tell you specifically on 3333. With that said, 1111, that's universe, that's God. All repeating numbers to me are bookmarks from the universe saying you're on track, you're on path, you're surrounded by goodness, you are loved, the angels are around you, and you are exactly where you're supposed to be. We get lots and lots of repeating numbers here. They are always reassuring. They always feel right to us, saying, you don't have to worry, Michael and Jessica. You don't have to strive, stress, and strain. You're exactly where you need to be. You can calm down. You can relax, even if things seem like they're not going, quote, right. You are just where you're supposed to be. Now, with that said, a big theme that's been coming up lately is you can never be off path. So we're getting reassurances from God, from the universe, with these repeating digits that you're exactly where you're supposed to be. The corollary is we could actually never be off track. What do I mean by that? What if everything is going, quote, wrong? The truth is there is no wrong or right. It is all learnings on this path. If we can truly grasp the idea that we are infinite beings, that we are divine beings, that we are divine sparks of light or sparks of love in a body incarnate having a human experience, then you realize it is all for our highest good. Certainly there's an easy path. Certainly there's a harder path, but we will all get the learnings that we're supposed to get. Does that mean we don't treat this place as sacred? No, far from it. I believe this is a sacred place. treat each person, treat each thing, and my God, treat Mother Earth with as much sanctity and sacredness as you can possibly bring to it. With that said, and I'm hearing a meowsers in the distance, and we'll see how much that distracts me. And if you need to, you could raise this up, Jessica, the computer up, because I know it's getting uncomfortable with this position over here. With that said, in a sense, we're living in a giant video game. In fact, in Silicon Valley, they talk about us living in a holographic world. And I think in many ways they're right, although I don't think this is a simulation of a simulation of a simulation. I think this is the real deal school. But it's just a school. That means there is no wrong and right. There is no good and bad. That doesn't mean go out and do quote unquote bad things. Spend this world focusing on as much love and as much goodness as you can possibly bring to everything. But it means that in the infinite life that we live, in an infinite number of lifetimes, this is a blip on the radar, and we are here to learn. Even our loved ones who pass on, and when they pass on before us, it hurts, and it hurts bad. But even them, I believe we will see again and again and again. What goes on the other side of the veil, that's the real world. This is just the simulator. And so use it for all it's got. Or to quote a line, I think, out of the movies, drive the car like you stole it, or drive the wheels right off the car. Live life large and live it with everything that you've got. So another beautiful question. Thank you for asking. Jessica, how are you doing over here?
Our next question is from Growth Fulfillment, who writes, "You do excellent interviews. Thank you. Any thoughts or advice on sexual transmutation, i.e., how to channel those feelings and desires into something more productive?"
Ooh, that's a beautiful question. It's growth fulfillment. Growth fulfillment. Hi, growth fulfillment. I send all my love. There's no more powerful energy in the universe than our sexual energy. It's something that Napoleon Hill alludes to a lot in almost all of his books, and surprisingly in Think and Grow Rich. So the question is, how do you transmute it? How do you transfer it in the direction that you want it to go? First off, recognize the energy is a huge piece of it. Secondly, recognize where you want to intend that energy. So if your energies are being put towards somebody and you don't want them to, realize that's misdirected energy. If it's being directed towards porn or something like that, realize that may be misdirected energy. Get up, get out of that seat, get moving, and then focus on where you want to bring that energy. Now, with that said, I do not pretend to be an expert on this, and I'm going to go a little bit non-PG here for a second. So if you're listening to this and you've got kids around, you may or you may not want to block their ears for just a second, and I'm not going to go in any graphic detail here, but there is a whole science dating back to the Taoists, dating back to the Egyptians, dating back to the beginning of written history on sexual transmutation, on taking the energy of orgasm and focusing it toward what you want. There is a real science behind this, because there is no more powerful energy than at that moment of orgasm. So you can set intention before you make love. You can set intention before you do something with yourself even. Put it out there in as much detail as you can. And when that moment comes, no pun intended, hold that in your heart. Focus that energy on a positive direction for your highest good and the highest good of all that you want it to go in. There are many books on it. We haven't found the best one yet, but Jessica and I have looked into this on what's called sexual magic, MAGICK, which is basically using the actual sexual energy, sexual transmutation, and using that with the law of attraction. I think it's a very powerful tool. The only thing I will say to it is always look to use it for the greatest good that you possibly can, because I don't believe there's any more powerful and positive of an energy, but you want to be careful. Is that the right word? You want to make sure where you're focusing your energies is for your highest good and the highest good of all. One of the caveats in any of this work is be careful what you wish for, because you just may get it. And it is such a powerful, powerful energy. So brilliant, brilliant question. Thank you so much for asking. If parents have their kids going, yeah, you can take the hands off of their ears now. Next question, Jessica.
I had a question from earlier. You mentioned spiritual wealth. Can you elaborate on what that means to you?
Certainly. What is spiritual wealth to me? The first thing that comes to mind is, how close can I come to God? And then I realize God is within all of us. And the question is, how can I realize my godlike self in each and every moment? So it's easy to think, I am God, you are God, we are all love. It's easy to think that in the rosy moments. But what about in the not so rosy moments? How do we remember that? So certainly, I'd love to go and meet with a Peruvian shaman and have the most amazing journeys, to visit other universes, to learn more about love, about God, all of these things. I would love to learn how to meditate at the level of a Tibetan Buddhist or Zen meditation master. I would love to meet with the Aborigines and learn how to travel the cosmos and what would we call it? Spiritually transport ourselves. But that's all the pyrotechnics, I believe. At the end of the day, I want to remember the godness that's within, or the love that is within, in each and every moment. I don't pretend to know how to do that. I am so far from there yet. But that is my goal, and that is what I mean by spiritual wealth. True spiritual wealth to me is living that God-like existence, or remembering who I am in each and every moment. What a brilliant question. Thank you so, so much. So one of the interesting things about this YouTube Live is we are running it very, very differently tonight. And I think because of this new setup, fewer people may be finding it in the moment versus the other way that we set things up. However, I think technically it's actually working a lot better. So I want to see if we have any more questions before we wrap things up here. But I'm actually, this goes along with, trip and fall and learn. Maybe we get to let people know earlier if we're doing this. This is all positive learnings. And then, one more theme that's been coming up lately for a lot of my coaching clients is the theme of whose is this? Whose is this? We have so much programming going on in our minds. We're not good enough. We're not smart enough. We're not rich enough. We're not enough. Whatever it is. But at the end of the day, if we analyze the messages in our minds, we'll learn that 99 out of 100 of those messages do not come from ourselves. I was actually talking with a coaching client earlier today, and I was talking with my mom, who is so afraid. I love you so much, Mom, so please forgive me for me sharing this. She is so afraid that she is a hex, a jinx on everything, that until recent years, she wouldn't watch her favorite teams play sports on TV because she knew if she watched them, she would single-handedly cause them to lose, which bomb is actually quite an incredible power. And so what she taught us is how easy it is for us to, quote, screw things up and ruin things, not just for ourselves, but for everyone around us. Her fear is, I'm going to ruin everything. But she was taught that by her mom, who I believe was taught it by her mom, who I believe was taught it by her mom. So when I catch myself worried and afraid, I might ruin things. I get to ask, whose is this? My dad. Oh my God, do I love my dad? I feel like he's a saint here on earth. One of his biggest challenges is if he's not doing, then in his words, he's a bum. He can't just sit. He has to be doing, or he's not worthy. He's not worthwhile. I inherited that. Nobody's been a bigger workaholic. Well, if you are, please don't challenge me. I let you win. I let you win. I let you win. Workaholic than I have been, because I believe that my worth was directly connected to how much doingness there is. But I know it didn't come from my dad, because I heard the same language in me that my dad says, and I know he heard it from his dad, and maybe he heard it from his dad as well. We can stop the madness. We can stop the cycle if we ask ourselves, whose is this? Then when we realize it's not ours, get busy on it. Write about it, journal about it, automatic writing about it, take walks thinking about it, feeling about it, do emotion code work on it, do tapping work on it, journal and do what I call the better out than in. Write all the negative emotions down and shred it and be done with it. But go after these patterns with everything that you've got. One of the challenges I'm making to myself here with these YouTube lives, and I can't say I fully succeeded here tonight, but I promise I will keep trying with everything I've got, is to share more, is to be more personal, is to have more of a one-on-one relationship with you. It's truly been my biggest challenge to work on what I call the screw up gene. There's so many times that I still wake up with a nightmare where I've ruined everything. Now, with that said, lately here in Colorado, I've been getting the reverse. I've been getting some dreams where it feels like I've succeeded in everything. And I turned to Jessica a few days ago in this home and I said, I feel like we've made it. And she said, I feel like we've made it too. Right, Pookie?
Mm-hmm.
The biggest make it is getting past, for me, the screw up gene. I had an interview a couple days ago. I won't say which one it was. It went beautifully well for the audience, I hope, I believe. And yet I wasn't able to get to as much of the book as I wanted to. It was a huge book. It was one of the most beautiful books I've ever read. And we're still in the middle of unpacking here. And I'm doing every single thing I can. And I finished that interview and I was talking with the author off air afterwards, and he mentioned something and I dove into the book and I'm like, I could have asked about this. I could have asked about this. It could have been so much better of an interview. Realize that's your ego getting to you. Don't listen to the ego. Perfectionism. Perfection is truly an illusion, and perfectionism is one of the most horrific diseases out there. Jessica and I know we're in remission, maybe only for a short time here, but we're doing much, much better. But it would have been so easy to kick myself and say, I screwed up, I ruined it, I blew it. And instead I said, yeah, could have done better. Next. I'll do everything I can next time. But I am going to protect the relationship with myself more than anything else in the world. The closest I will come to that is I will do everything in my power to protect and do better with my relationship with Jessica. And I can certainly do much, much better. And with my relationship with the kitties, and with my relationship with our snails, and with our future dogs, and certainly with our kids. I will do everything in my power. But first and foremost, I will protect my relationship with myself. And I challenge you to do the same. We have all been taught to pick on ourselves, to berate ourselves, to shame ourselves, to guilt ourselves. Original sin. We have all been taught that we are less than. It's bogus. And it's the single biggest thing that brings us down. Love yourself with every ounce of energy, with every molecule of oxygen, with everything that you've got. Love yourself, love yourself, love yourself, for you're the only you've got. And if you love yourself, you will cut the strings, cut the cords that are holding you down, that are tying you to those cement blocks. And when you truly love yourself, you will set yourself free. When you truly love yourself, the sky isn't even the limits. We all limit ourselves. We all pull ourselves down. We all hold ourselves down. We all force ourselves to be small. But if you learn how to love yourself, even a little bit, you will shine. Last note on this, and I'm going to check one more time on question here. And this is something that I share a lot, but it's worthy of repeating. Years ago, I had a massive problem. I had beyond a massive problem loving myself. I wanted myself dead. I tried to roll a car once. Thank God for ABS on the BMW. When I flipped out and tried to roll it, it was a momentary lapse of judgment, incredible lapse of judgment. I believe it was Wayne Dyer on an infomercial that saved my life, that said that if you believe God is everywhere and everything and God can make no accidents, then you are God and you're not an accident. And what gives you the right to pick on God's creations? And that made a massive difference. With that said, when at that time I tried to start loving myself, I remember going to a mirror, and I call this graduate level work. This is not where you start with loving yourself. Even though they do something like this in the movie What the Bleep, a beautiful movie, and we had the producer on a few years ago and many of the guests on it. I went into the mirror and I said, I love myself. My ego, which always wants to protect us by keeping us as small as it can, got so pissed off with me. I shattered the mirror. I pulled down the curtain, the showery curtain thing, probably snapped it in two. I completely trashed the bathroom. I joke and I said I redecorated it. It wasn't funny at the time. I completely melted down because I flipped over the safety mechanisms that wanted to keep me small, that wanted to keep me as, well, honestly, if my parents picked on me, what do you call it? Spanked me, hit me, berated me, belittled me, or whatever they did to me if I did something wrong as a kid. If I instead picked on myself or punished myself first, then maybe I wouldn't be in as much trouble with them. And so your ego learns to attack yourself first as a protective mechanism. So when I said I love myself, my ego was all over my case to protect me, sort of like the knock on wood. Don't say anything good, something bad will happen. That's what I was taught by my mom. Don't say anything good. Or actually, she would say, take that back. Take that back right now. Like something bad's going to happen to you. And so I learned to go on the attack with myself first. So when it comes to loving yourself, start slowly, start gently. Realize there may be tremendous backlash. So baby step, which is the theme for today, baby step your way in. But you will over time be able to sneak past the guards. For myself, it was a humble little bracelet. And first saying, thank you, God, thank you, God, thank you, God. And eventually getting to, I love myself, I love myself, I love myself, which is now on my better moments. And when I do the shows, I send love, I send love, I send love, getting to that godness within. But take those baby steps forward over time. I'm going to check in with Jessica one more time, see if there are any questions, and we'll be wrapping it up at approximately the top of the hour or a little bit sooner, at which point I'm going to love myself, and Jessica may join me as we go on a skate down the bike path right beneath our house. Woohoo! All right. Any more questions?
Yes, Charlene asks, what can I do as a wife to help my husband love himself?
Wow, that is a brilliant, beautiful question, Charlene. You can certainly point out in his better moments his worthiness. However, self-love is an inside job. The absolute best thing that you can do, Charlene, be as loving, kind, and gentle. Point out all the positives you can. Support him in any way you can. But, Charlene, put the oxygen mask on yourself first. Love yourself like there's no tomorrow. Be the example with yourself. Be the light that shines bright on everyone around you. And go to my favorite all-time prayer in the world, Ho'oponopono. Beautiful, beautiful Hawaiian healing prayer for healing relationships, for healing others, for healing ourselves. Because at the end of the day, Charlene, we are all one. With that said, if your relationship is untenable, there is a time and a place for everything. But because I know If somebody doesn't love themselves, it really could be a long road and a very heavy haul. You cannot fill the hole in someone's heart. You can't even try to do so. But going back to this is a beautiful healing prayer that you can use. And I recommend using it every night before you go to bed. You can even use it as your mantra, your walking mantra 24/7. This is a prayer you say to yourself, for yourself, realizing we are all one. So you can think about your husband or do what I call putting a quarter in the jukebox of your mind, old school jukebox, watch a TV show like Happy Days if you're not sure what that is. And you put your quarter in, you punch the button and it plays some music. Might have even been a dime or who knows how cheap, a nickel at some point. And what you're going to say is 4 lines repeated in any order you desire to heal yourself, which helps heal those around you. I love you. Please forgive me. I am sorry. Thank you. I love you. Please forgive me. I am sorry. Thank you. You're not saying I love you to your husband. You're saying I love you to yourself. You're not saying please forgive me to your husband. You're saying please forgive me to yourself, to your own heart. You're saying I am sorry for any ways that I have wronged or hurt myself. And you're saying thank you, which is perhaps the strongest line in the universe. There is no more powerful energy than gratitude, which is love, and love, which is gratitude. Thank you. And you're saying thank you to yourself. I love you. Please forgive me. I am sorry. Thank you. And see where that carries you. And above and beyond all else, Charlene, work on yourself, work on yourself, work on yourself. Because no matter what happens, at the end of the day, you have you and you alone. So see how much you can do to heal your own heart. So Jessica, I want to check in with you. Is there anything else we want to cover or talk about? If not, we will call it good for today. I'm real excited about how this has been going. I feel better about it.
Awesome. Am I allowed to ask a question?
No. Yes.
Because I'm keeping you from your skates.
No, you are not keeping. Yes, you are. But you know, I looked up at the clock right now to see what time it is. And guess what time it is, Jessica? 5:55, which means we are right on track and exactly where we're supposed to be. So go for it with your question.
Okay, well, going back to the theme of tonight's Ask Michael Anything.
Yep.
Stepping forward towards your dreams.
Yep.
Earlier, I asked you what some of your dreams were, and you listed a lot.
Yes.
So my question is, how do you keep track of all your different dreams? Does it get overwhelming? And secondly, do you need to be focused on every single dream every single day?
Okay, that is a question that's going to take a while to answer. So let's see where we can start on this. First, I write out a mission statement every few days. I like to say write it out every day. It comes out every few days. It morphs a little bit. Well, it's hard. I want to talk with you and I want to talk with them. So I write out a mission statement about raising consciousness, raising the vibration of the planet, helping shift the collective, and about family and about health and about growing closer to God. And so I write that out as a reminder every few days at a very minimum. I also do my Woohoo 8 almost every morning, which is to write out my hopes and dreams and goals with the energy or the essence behind them almost each and every morning. Woohoo 8 for myself is 8 different categories that I focus on, and I put them in order of wealth. And so putting them on me on the spot, I have my health wealth, my health wealth, time wealth, familial wealth. I have emotional wealth, career wealth. I have creative wealth, and I have my spiritual wealth. And so I try to write about my hopes and dreams and goals in these categories. And obviously there's a lot more to it each and every morning. I like the ending part of your question the best, and I am so distracted by your loving up Sir Meowsers on the bed next to us. I love what you said about, do I have to focus on them each and every morning, and couldn't it get overwhelming? It would get overwhelming if I spent too much detail on them each and every morning. I don't believe we have to hound the universe. It's more like we have to hound ourselves. Universe knows after you asked it a few times. I think it's great to continue to cast that stone of attention into the giant pond of intention. It creates ripples. And I call myself an alchemist or a magician, meaning that I work on the other side of the veil, as above, so below. But with that said, I don't have to say it all each and every day. I can focus on any one piece of it. Sort of like I have an SMP, a single-minded purpose. What's most important for me to do today? I'm not focusing on all of it all of the time, nor do I believe I have to. A lot of what has come about in our lives right now are hopes and dreams and goals that we mentioned years ago and came about now. Time's not linear. There is no direct relationship between has to take place from this step to the next step to the next step to the next step to the next step. So I believe a hope and dream and goal that you made years ago can come true today, can come true tomorrow, and you don't need to belabor it. I do like to put it out there each and every day when possible because it affects the choices that I make. And I find that incredibly helpful. For instance, if I'm continuously writing about my health or about how much I want to improve my digestive system or how much I want to be able to run in the hills, then the decisions I make based on what I write out each and every day will help me to bring that about. Which is why I am truly sitting at the end of this session in this stool that I've come to love and not love at the same time. I will be manifesting something more comfortable to sit in the next few days, and I will write that down each and every morning until it happens. Anything else?
Yes, we have a question from Grace.
Grace, you get the final question of the evening.
Who asks, what's the importance of being still, not shaking a leg or tapping habits?
Tap away, Grace. Tap away. Tap, tap, tap. We are wired to hunt and to chase and to outrun and to grow and to produce and to dance and to move. We are meant for movement. We are incredibly graceful, flowing human beings. Dance, twitch, tap all you want. This comes from someone who is the original, maybe ADD squirrel, at least of my generation. Heck, I have the niche bestseller book on it. And I used to travel around the country giving talks to ADD organizations on this. Don't try to force yourself to not move, to force yourself to fit into a world that has learned you must sit still and pay attention. We learn through movement. We learn by traveling across the plains. We learn by climbing mountains. We learn by crossing fjords. We don't learn by sitting still. Now, with that said, the opposite side of the same coin is learn how to find stillness through meditation to bring all that energy to a single point, or like the edge of a sword. When you learn how to harness that movement and bring it to stillness, bring it to a finite point, you have such incredible power, Grace. So I'm a very yin and yang kind of guy. I'm doing this this live, where I'm actually fairly over the top. I'm extremely energized by my audience. But then at other points, I go completely silent. And then at other points, every single day, I'm running, skating, jumping, hiking, swimming, something to get that energy out and to really fully be alive. So there's a time and a place for everything, Grace. And I love your name, Grace Flow. Flow. There are times to jump into the flow of movement and move with everything you've got. There are times to jump into the flow of silence and stillness and to bring all that awareness to the head of a pin. In other words, to draw all that awareness inwards and find a magical world in the bliss, in the silence, in being able to control the monkey mind so that you can bring your attention wherever you want it to be. but flow with either side of that coin. And no matter where you are in the equation, love yourself just as you are, no matter what anyone else says about it. So thank you, Grace, for that brilliant question. I'm going to wrap things up here. Jessica, do you have anything else to share? I want to thank everybody for joining us here this evening. If you love the show, please share with everybody you know. Help get the word out. Help us to help the world. Help us to reach your friends, to reach your loved ones, and to truly help the world to shine bright. Please come support us. Become a Backstage Pass member. Join us at patreon.com, patreon.com/Inspire Nation. You can become a part of the Inspire Nation family. You'll get daily words of wisdom. You will get so many tools, tips, prizes, so much helpful information, and much more. And come on over to InspireNationUniversity.com. Check out our automatic writing program, and we'll have many more programs to come very, very shortly. I send all my love your way above and beyond all else. Truly realize the divinity that is within you, the greatness that is you, and nobody else and everybody else. But realize how truly special and loved and supported and incredible and wonderful and divine you truly are. And shine bright. Woohoo! Thank you.